All right, what's up, everybody? The power rankings ended last week, but I couldn't leave y'all hanging. We got a divisional round breakdown for y'all. 4 excellent games, 3 of them rematches from the regular season. The young gun quarterbacks making a statement. How could you ever doubt Baker Mayfield? And the Lions ending the longest playoff drought that was in the NFL. Tons of intrigue. Mahomes, Josh Allen rematch. Man, there's just so much going on. But let's just hop into it, breaking it down. Our first game at 4:30 Saturday. Okay, welcome to the party. CJ Stroud making a statement in his first career playoff start, picking up the W. The greatest rookie season by a quarterback ever continues on. Now into Baltimore. Ravens having a first round bye, the number 1 seed in the AFC. And this is a whole different monster. Now, these two teams met week 1. CJ Stroud's first career NFL game. Ravens took this one 25-9 in a rainy, ugly, sloppy game. And the weather is going to be a little similar to that. It's going to be cold. It's going to be nasty out. And I think this really helps suit the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are an effective running team, but the passing game has come on as of late. Houston, on the other hand, Singletary had some moments this season, but they really do rely on the passing attack with CJ Stroud and Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz. Pretty much whoever they throw out there, CJ Stroud's finding them. So this is a very intriguing matchup. Now, the Texans' run defense is top 3 in yards per carry this season, so it's a tough defense to run on. That should help slow down this Baltimore attack. We're going to maybe see some Dalvin Cook in the backfield. Mark Andrews going to play for them. They now have a 2 tight end monster. You can run Likely and Andrews out there out of these heavy sets, some play action. I know Baltimore's been working on that with the week off. I think this is an excellent matchup. 9.5 is the point spread right now for the Ravens. I do think the Texans are a live dog in this one. CJ Stroud has been playing lights out. He is really, really impressed. I think it's ugly. I am a little worried. This is the Ravens' kind of mantra. They dominate the regular season, and Lamar's postseason struggles. Could they come back? Could this actually be a thing? I don't think so. I think Lamar is going to have a decent season. I do think CJ Stroud is just so good. But this Texans team, they are actually kind of an older team, but they're led by a young group of guys. I don't think it's going to be enough for them. I like Baltimore to take this one. I do think the Texans cover, keep this game close, kind of an ugly, low-scoring game. Ravens' elite defense is what they're going to have to lean on. Probably the best defense, definitely the best defense left in the postseason. So I'm going to take the Ravens here to advance to the AFC Championship game. Okay, game number 2, another welcome to the postseason moment for Jordan Love and the Packers, the youngest team to win a playoff game since the merger, march into Dallas and beat the brakes off of Big Mike and the boys. Pretty impressive stuff for them, and this is a flaming hot Packers team. They had to win out down the stretch to get into the playoffs. They've been really strong. They've managed to turn around this offense. They were horrible. Week 8, they were abysmal on offense. All of a sudden, Jordan Love's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I do think there are some areas there where if you get stick on man, he does miss with some throws. He is a little inaccurate with the ball, but his guys are making every single play for him. And when you got that kind of mojo going for you, it's a massive benefit. Aaron Jones also healthy. We're seeing much improved in the run game. San Francisco, your number 1 seed, off of the bye. Like I said, this has been the most dominant team for stretches in the NFL this season. They slip up down the end against Baltimore. The question is, how are they going to respond? They're coming off the bye. They seem laser focused. They're about as healthy as San Francisco's been in a good minute now coming into this playoffs. But Green Bay, the best first quarter team in the NFL. San Francisco, when trailing this year, has not been good. They've struggled to deal when they get behind, when teams put up leads. And Green Bay and Jordan Love come out firing. So this is a true test for this Niners defense that has had some issues on the back end. They can get after the quarterback. We know about Nick Bosa, Chase Young, the addition at the trade deadline really changed the things. Fred Warner at linebacker is awesome. Now, Green Bay, the weather is not going to suit this high attack passing offense. It's going to be like 62 and a lot of rain. It's going to be wet. We're going to need some running of the football. And San Francisco is a power run football team. They can throw it out, they can get creative on you, but they can run the ball with CMC, they run the ball with Debo, and they can just gash you for 15, 20 yards of play. Green Bay, one of the worst run defenses in football. Now, they've been better down the stretch, you would say. They ain't played any real running football teams. San Francisco towards the top in running yards per game. I just think this is a complete mismatch. Now, Green Bay's playing with house money. They don't know what they don't know. They didn't know they weren't supposed to beat the Cowboys. They beat the Cowboys. So could Green Bay come in there? 9.5-point dogs. This seems like a huge number. This feels a little too big. I think San Francisco might be a little slow to start, and they get maybe a little bit behind, but not too far behind. Maybe they're down 10-7, something like that, where they are trailing. And I just think this is too much of a San Francisco juggernaut to deal with. They're going to be able to get after Love, make him have to make all those throws. And I don't think those receivers are going to consistently make all those ridiculous plays in this kind of weather. The running game is kind of middle of the pack. It should be a little bit better for Green Bay. San Francisco's got an elite run defense. They stop people, so I don't see them being able to run the ball at all. It's going to be on Brock Purdy if he doesn't turn the ball over. It's going to be really, really, really hard to beat this Niners team. They're going to be effective. They're healthy. This is just a juggernaut and, a great season for the Packers. I know they're believing because nobody believed in them against Dallas. I don't think San Francisco's that kind of team. So I'm going to take the Niners here in a pretty convincing fashion. Okay, the streak is dead. The Lions finally win a playoff game for the first time in 30 plus years. They finally got a home playoff game. Now they got two home playoff games with a chance for a third. Incredible run by the Lions. They get Tampa Bay coming into town, who demolished an Eagles team that completely quit on the season, completely quit on everything. And Baker, money maker, do not doubt him. When he is doubted, he is feeling dangerous. Now, these two teams met earlier in the season, towards the middle of the year. I believe Detroit was coming off their bye going to Tampa Bay. They won the game 20-6, Detroit, pretty convincingly. It didn't feel really close at all, but this was a different Buccaneers team back then. They have been so much better down the stretch. Now, are we all believing in Baker? Now Baker lays an egg. That could quite possibly be it, but he looks healthy. He's feeling good, and his receiving core did not play good against Philadelphia. Mike Evans dropped a touchdown. Cade Otton couldn't catch the ball. I expect a very clean and crisp game from this Buccaneers playmaking ability. Now, they aren't going to be able to run the ball. Detroit's run defense is elite, but Tampa Bay hasn't run the ball all year. They don't rely on having to run the ball to be successful. Detroit's secondary, they tightened it up in the second half against LA. Maybe got away with a pass interference or two there, but hey, if they're not going to call it to the playoffs, you're going to have to adjust to it. So they did do a better job in the secondary, but still, this is the weak point of this defense. The big key is here, Aiden Hutchinson is gone like Super Saiyan, gone on a tear down the stretch. He can't be blocked. He's really the only pass rusher they've had, and he's dominating as the only guy there. He can't be blocked, man. He is absolutely game-wrecking right now. So that's huge for Detroit. If they can get to Baker, cause some havoc, make him miss a throw, Baker will take shots. He'll take sacks. Philly did have a few sacks against Baker on that game on Monday. It could really disrupt this offense, slow him down, set him behind the sticks, and then Baker makes a mistake. Somebody drops a ball, and they're punting or it's a turnover. I think that's going to be the key to the Lions' success. Offensively for Detroit, we all know about this offense. It goes through the run game, but they weren't really able to run the ball crazy against LA, and they still did an awesome job throwing the football. Jared Goff was really, really good. He had one Jared Goff play trying to shovel it out of bounds. God knows what he was doing, but it didn't matter. So if we can get Goff that we saw against the Rams, I think the Lions have a great shot in this game. I think he's going to be the difference here because Tampa Bay's run defense is lights out. It's gone back a little bit, but it's another elite run stopping unit. So I think Detroit's going to struggle to run the football here, and it's going to be on Goff. It's going to be on those wide receivers. Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams had a big touchdown in their first matchup. So that's the key. Now, Tampa Bay's pass defense is better than what it was when they first met up. So this is a very kind of give and go chess match. It's a 6.5-point spread. I think it's probably about right. Detroit by a touchdown feels like the pick here, but do not be surprised if Mike Evans turns into, like Randy Moss, goes for a $132 touchdowns, and now the Lions are reeling. Jared Goff makes a couple of mistakes, throws a pick. We've seen Jared Goff do that. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I do think Tampa Bay isn't as dead as people are thinking. I'm going to take the Lions here also. Another home team, Lions, 2 home playoff wins for you, and a spot in the NFC Championship game. Okay, and our final game of the weekend, what poses to be our best game of the weekend, the Chiefs, the Bills, the rematch we've all wanted. These two teams know each other. Feels like they're playing each other every year since Mahomes and Allen have gotten into the playoffs. They know each other so well. Played again earlier in the season. This is what set off the Bills winning streak. Bills played Kansas City coming off the bye. They won 6 straight now. After that, they haven't lost. So the Chiefs kind of started this streak, but can the Chiefs end this streak? Kansas City looked really good on offense against the Miami team that was so beat up on defense. It was so cold. They really didn't want to be there, but I did really like what I saw from the Chiefs. Rashee Rice, getting him involved in the mix. He's got playmaking ability. I've been a big fan of his. He has had some drops, but he hasn't had those killer drops like some other guys on this defense. Travis Kelce, I do not know what's going on. My guy had butterfingers. Maybe it was the cold. Maybe it's old. He has just not looked good, but this is a mismatch nightmare for Buffalo. Got no linebacker helps out there. We saw Pat Freiermuth have a very solid day against them. I think this is the time for Kelce. We're going to need a patented Kelce game. We need a $130 and a tutty, maybe 2 tutties from Kelce. He's got to give us everything he's got if Kansas City wants to have this game. Now, the other thing is Kansas City's defense is playing better. They've really ratcheted it up. They were great in the start and middle of the season. They kind of fell down late in the season. They've been really good now down the stretch here. I like what I saw from them. Now, I know it's the Dolphins in cold weather. What can you expect? It's kind of bad. Bills offensively, though, they've really turned it on, running the football super effectively. The big X factor here is Buffalo won this first game 20-17. We know about the Kadarius Toney lining up offsides, lateral, whatever. The big X factor, Isaiah Pacheco did not play in this first game. They had just 39 yards rushing. The Bills' run defense isn't anything crazy, man. They did a decent job against Pittsburgh, who's a solid running attack, but I'm not writing home about, the Buffalo Bills run defense here. I think this is an opportunity, another Pacheco spot. That man runs angry. That man just always pissed off when he runs the football. I think there's a huge mismatch here for them. Now, when it comes down to it, the Chiefs' run defense is kind of middle of the pack also, and the Bills thrived going to James Cook. He was their leading rusher and their leading receiver in the first matchup. Look for him to have another big day. I thought he looked good against Pittsburgh. And Josh Allen, man. Josh Allen has been the superhero kind of guy, but man, he can't stop turning the ball over. If they can cut down on the Josh Allen turnovers, I do think this is finally the spot for Buffalo. The line is 2.5 for Buffalo. I picked Buffalo going into the playoffs to get to the AFC Championship game, but man, oh man, I really do think this is a tough spot for them. I'm so worried about the Mahomes factor. Like, Buffalo just can't beat Kansas City in the playoffs. It's kind of a mental thing. Josh Allen has struggled in big spots. It feels like he had the one great 13-second game, but blown out in the AFC Championship game. Horrible against Cincinnati at home last year. I do think the Bills have the right kind of mojo, though, right now. So I'm going to stick with the Bills. I feel awful picking against Mahomes and the Chiefs, especially after they showed life. Now, you can all harass me on Monday when the Chiefs end up winning this game. Be like, what are you doing, Peter? But I'm going to stick to my pick. I'm going to stick with the Bills. So I'm going all 4 home teams for the playoffs. So there's no shot at this one, even though there was a real long trend where like only 2 teams that weren't a 1 or 2 seed didn't make the conference championship game. We had a long stretch there, but that was back when there were 2 buys. So maybe that's not going as good. All right, so for the AFC Championship game, we have Baltimore hosting the Buffalo Bills, and the NFC Championship game, San Francisco hosting your Detroit Lions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Where am I off? What did you think? Who is going to be playing in the final weekend to send yourselves to the Super Bowl? Who are going to be the Final Four? Let me know what you guys think. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Click that join button if you want to help support the channel more. Helps me out, allows me to keep making this great sports content for you guys every single day. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.